Where do you hang your artwork? Number 1 position, number 2, or number 3? Well, there are actually formulas that designers use to hang artwork, and they work every time, whether it's one piece or a full gallery wall. Today, I'm going to simplify those formulas and show you exactly how to hang your art so it looks intentional, balanced, and professionally styled. Hi, Homestars, I'm Valerine. Welcome back and welcome. If this is your first time here, I hope it won't be your last. Hit subscribe and together let's explore simple and affordable ways to make our homes comfy, cozy, and complete. So one of the things that can actually throw your design off in your room is artwork that is hung either too high or too low. There are actually two heights at which artwork is usually hung: 57 to 60 inches off the finished floor or 65 inches off the finished floor, which is 5 feet 5 inches. However, there's also a school of thought that says that you can hang it between 64 to 65 inches. Both of these are from different contexts. The first one, 57 to 60 inches, is generally used in museums and galleries because there are so many people visiting the museum and the galleries. And so what they do is strike a median height to accommodate the people who are visiting, right? However, in residential spaces, 65 inches or 64 to 65 inches is generally the height that is used. And that is what we are going to be using here today, right? So now you know the height at which you can hang your artwork. There is a very easy way to do it to take the fuss out of it for you. However, before we get into that, I should say that you can feel comfortable to make adjustments even to the 65 inches, right? Because some designers do use the 57 to 60 inches in residential spaces. So for me, actually, you can say, okay, I will go between 57 to 65 inches. That will ensure that it's not too low, and that will ensure that your artwork is not too high, right? And that would be dictated by your circumstance. For example, if you're living in a home with shorter people, right? You wouldn't want to hang your artwork 65 inches high because it won't be at your eye level. For me, because I'm on the taller side, I prefer to use the upper height, right? So what I'm actually going to do today is hang the artwork at 64 inches. Now that we've decided that, we are going to start measuring from the finished floor. And I do have my pencil, and I also have painter's tape here. I have already decided that I am hanging my artwork in this panel here, right? So what I'm going to do is use my painter's tape here because I don't want to write on my wall. And I am going to go ahead and put my tape right here so that when I measure from the floor 64 inches, I am putting the mark on the tape, right? Now, if you put the mark on the wall, you can always use an eraser to erase it, but this is a better way to go, right? Now that we have measured 64 inches, what we need to do next is find the midpoint of the artwork. Now I have already measured my artwork from top to bottom, and I have found the midpoint. The midpoint is halfway. So if your artwork is 26 inches, divide that by 2, you get 13 inches, right? Now let's remind myself what my midpoint is. That is 13.5 inches, right? So now what I'm gonna do is measure up from here 13.5 inches. I'm gonna go ahead and put another piece of tape at the top to accommodate that measurement. Now that I've done that, let's go ahead and measure up 13.5 inches. And this is where we're at. Now, the other thing that will dictate where we put our hook to hang our artwork is where our wire or our hook on the back of this artwork is, right? So we're not going to hang it up here at the 13.5 inches. We're instead going to measure, just like we're going to hang the artwork, and from where it's going to be hung to the top is 4 inches. So then what we're going to do next is measure down 4 inches from our 13.5 inches. And our mark right here is where we're going to put our hook. That's going to accommodate hanging our artwork. Let's get my hook here. And this part here is where it's going to have to sit at that mark, not the top. Because if we put the top there, then it's going to hang lower. So we have to put this little indent right at our mark. Let's go ahead and hammer in our hook. There we go. We are good, and I am going to go ahead and remove this tape. There we go. It's off. And we can hang our artwork. By the way, this artwork was done by our son in grade school, our younger son, and I framed it in an old window. Okay, so I'll just get down here, and then we position the artwork properly. There we go. Here we go. Just at eye level, right? If I were to use the 57 inches, then the artwork would come lower and I would be just about at the top of the frame. So that is what I'm referring to when I say that you can go between 57 and 65 inches depending on your circumstances, especially depending on the height of the people in your home. Mark, there are different heights that you hang photos or artwork over consoles and headboards and sofas, and that we are going to do, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to accomplish those too. Also, we are going to be looking at gallery walls and how we can put a gallery wall together. Easy, 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 because you know we are uncomplicating design and decor so that we can DIY and have our homes feel and look like what we want it to feel and look like, right? And how we live. Thank you so much for being here. until I see you again on Thursday when we're going to do the gallery wall session, you take good care. Also, watch these videos below. Mwah. I appreciate you.